Yeah, people feel nervous doing activism. You can feel anxious. You can feel all these feelings, and that's okay. That's normal. But we can't let those feelings beat us. We have to do it no matter what because we're not the ones in that position.
Of course, it's going to get uncomfortable. No matter what you do, you will receive criticism from the rest of the world because you are directly attacking their comfort zone, their conditioning, their ideologies.
I remember feeling very angry because I genuinely thought cows just produce milk because they're a cow. I had no idea of the exploitation behind it.
We have a moral obligation to fight as intensely as if it was us directly in that position. You know, they're deserving of that intensity.
Hi everyone, today I'm honored to host a vegan power duo who are hard hitting activists and also purpose driven entrepreneurs. Welcome to the show, Mel and Steve. Thank you so much for being here today. And if,
Oh,
in short, you can just give your introduction and also a bit about your vegan story.
Yeah,
excellent.
sure. Thank you so much for having us on. We really appreciate it. So yeah, I'm Mel, and this is Steve. We're husband and wife, and we haven't always been vegan. 26 years of my life, I haven't been vegan for how long? How long for you?
36.
36 for you. And everything changed one day when we sat down on the sofa and we come across a YouTube video from Joey Carbstrong about the dairy industry. I'll let you explain.
Yeah, so we were sitting there watching the video, and I don't even know how it popped up. You know, like you can start watching a video on YouTube about rock climbing, and you can end up like on a live stream on Mars. I don't know how you end up in these like weird places on YouTube, but we ended up with this Joey Carbstrong video, and I was like, this guy is just speaking so much like sense about the dairy industry. And there was things in there that I never knew happened, of course, because the dairy industry are experts at hiding everything that they do to the animals. And we were looking at each other, and I was like, I can't disagree with this guy. Like, he's making so much sense. And then what happened was about a 10-second clip of the black and white cow from Dominion, where she's on her side, and the slaughterman is repeatedly cutting her. And what happened was we put our head in our hands, and we cried for about 20 minutes, 30 minutes. We just literally, the first emotion was like just this overwhelming guilt of she's in there for me. And that didn't sit well with us at all. And we cried it out, and we didn't even really speak to each other. We stood up. I walked in the kitchen. Mel followed me. We got a black bag. We threw all of our animal products in the bin, and we said, "That's it."
Oh, wow.
Like well, I don't think we actually said I'm a vegan. We just was like,
It was just obvious.
we're like, "That's it. I'm not being responsible for that anymore. I'll have to remove ourselves immediately." And then a short time after that, like maybe like a week, 2 weeks, we were like, this isn't enough. Like, being vegan isn't enough. This feels like a neutral position. But now I know what's happening to her. I have to help. And that's when we became active and started doing our activism.
Yeah. Just couldn't stop
Wow.
thinking about her. Couldn't stop thinking about her day and
Wo-
night. Couldn't sleep anymore. And actually, when we did our first ever day of activism, was the first day I slept again after seeing what happens to animals.
Wow.
Yeah, I think we finally realised we can do something about this. That felt really powerful.
Wow. And I'm so glad for YouTube algorithm that day that video which you didn't intend to watch came up on your feed, and it has created so much of impact, of course, on the two of you, but then you went on to become activists, which means that now you are impacting so many others as well. And
Yeah.
it's also one of those stories where I know a lot of people who watch something or listen to something and immediately are impacted, and you saying that once you saw that immediately, like even probably you were not aware of the term vegan or so, but you still decided that no more animal products. Is that so?
Yeah.
I mean, the moment we saw what happened to this poor dairy cow, um, because Joey's message was so clear and easy to understand, it was. I think he kind of had embedded veganism as the only way, without us even realizing that kind of happened. Because I just remember being like, I remember feeling very angry because I genuinely
Mm.
thought cows just produce milk because they're a cow. I had no idea of the exploitation behind it. And yeah, it's like once you saw it, once Joey educated us, it was a very simple thing. And I mean, we didn't even know where to start. We just knew we would never pay for that to ever happen to an animal again. They need our help. And yeah, like Steve said, we went shopping the day before, and we threw all the animal products in the bin that day. And we were like, right, we'll just have beans on toast and we'll figure it out. And yeah, that's what we did, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was just an immediate switch. Yeah. It wasn't like we needed to then see pigs, and then we needed to see chickens, and then we needed to see lambs. It was like, okay, this video is a clear, obvious indicator that animals are exploited here. Let's remove ourselves 100% immediately. And it was like, like I said, it's like a light switch. You know, when they say the mask comes off, all them analogies, they're just so accurate because it's literally like a night and day movement. Like 1 minute you're in the dark, then the next minute it's like someone's turned the light on and you've seen the world for the reality that is in front of it, and you think, wow, this is happening right in front of us right now. Like even today, we've been at a slaughterhouse today. We've done a 4-hour live at a slaughterhouse this morning for dairy cows. And, you know, it's somewhere that you didn't really even believe it existed, I think, before. You know, it just, you're just so in your lane, you're so in your focused, conditioned mind, you don't even question these things. And this is why it's important, like you said earlier, like the social media aspect is probably one of our biggest weapons against this war for the animals, because it has the opportunity to reach people like us who we were just sitting on the sofa, you know, and all of a sudden this message just hit us like a brick wall, and then that's it, and it changes. And then like you rightfully said, and I believe, to quote Joey, I think I've heard Joey say it, one flame can light 1,000 candles. And once that one person starts talking up for the animals, you could have 1,000 people behind you who you've influenced, and then their candles light 1,000 people, and 1,000. And this is the only way we've ever had systemic change in history against any injustice, you know?
Absolutely. And have you met Joey after that incident?
Yes, we have. It was actually probably one of our most favorite days ever. I mean, because you live in admiration of that person that gives you that message, don't you? And then we watched all of Joey's YouTube channel, and we're like, wow, like we really resonated with the way he was an activist, the way he defended animals. And you know, we used Joey to educate us on how to be an activist, because we'd watch the videos, we'd get the answers to the questions, and you'd learn all this stuff. And I suppose in the back of your mind, you always think, oh, I'd love to bump into him one day, just to shake his hand and just to say thank you so much for what you do for the animals and what you've done for us, because you know it's changed our life so much for the better. And we managed to meet Joey and Tarian and everyone at Vegan Camp Out. We queued up, we met Joey.
It's an incredible moment, because like you said, like we're so grateful on behalf of the animals for what he does for them, and he is an absolute hero to the animals and Tarian, and therefore he's a hero to us. Like he changed our entire life like that, because he was brave enough to do activism and speak up for the animals and do a video and share it. And I know people say you shouldn't meet your heroes, but because you can be let down. But when we met Joey, he was even better than we could have ever imagined. He's the most incredible person. He's the most fired up person for the animals and Tarian, and he just beams with this bright light that just shines for the animals, and that's infectious.
We got to do the Pignorant tour with Joey, and that was a fantastic tour. And if you think, however hard you think Joey works and Tarian work for the animals, you can times that by 100, because having spent some time with them, they're the first people up, they're the last people to bed, they're the first people out the door. The energy's there, and the focus is always 100% on the animals. So we resonate with them so much, and it was amazing becoming, acquainted with them and getting to know them.
Absolutely. I think it is also evident even in the videos, and of course, like you rightly said, probably what we see in the videos is not even 1/100th of the effort that they actually put in. But even then, that is evident, and the conviction is there for sure, and it inspires so many vegans to become better
Yeah.
activists. And I genuinely hope and believe that there are people who are similarly influenced by you too as well. And I'm sure that there are people who are influenced by your work. And like you said, this is a chain of events, right? We know that there are good people out there, compassionate people out there, who are just ignorant about the realities because we have been conditioned in a certain way to stay away from the suffering of animals. And I think that's our job essentially, that take that wheel of ta- take that wheel of ignorance from them and introduce them to the realities of what they are contributing to. And
Definitely.
Yeah.
yes, it's always amazing to hear stories like this, that you became vegan just because of one random YouTube video. Not only a vegan, now you are doing full fledged activism. And how many years how many years has it been since you went vegan, both of you?
About 4 years
Just over 4 years now.
Nice.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
also an activist for almost 4 years, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was kind of instantaneous, really.
Yeah.
We did activism for maybe
Yeah.
a year, maybe just over a year and a half. Just on the street, talking to people, doing stuff, without the camera and without the equipment. But it was, I suppose
Mm,
everyone has it. You probably relate to it too. Is like, as an activist, it's like you've got this never-ending quench for thirst, and you've got this never-ending feeling of, I need to do more and I need to intensify this. Excuse me. And you need to it needs to switch up, and it's constantly got to go up a gear. So we were like, look, we're going out every
yeah.
opportunity we have, we're going out, but we're out for 8 hours, and I'm talking to 20 people. Mel's talking to 20 people, so there's 40 people in a day, which is great. But let's get a camera up, and if we can put that on social
Yeah.
media, if 10 people, if 10 extra people see that, then that is more optimal for the animals. And that's when we decided, like, right, okay,
Yes.
our first stuff, we just put on a credit card. We just got our credit card out, and we were like, look, it doesn't matter. It doesn't let the animals need us to do this. So we put it all on a credit card, and out we went, and we started to film. And we made all the mistakes possible. I plugged the microphone into the headphones. I plugged the headphones into the microphone. It was a disaster to begin with.
Yeah.
Edit all the videos.
We did a 6-hour
Yeah.
outreach in Brighton, and we got back, and we were so happy. I thought that was such a good day, and I hadn't even put the microphone in the right thing.
Yeah,
It
I
was,
went to edit, and all you could hear is wind. It was like,
so you just
and yeah. But yeah, like Steve said, we
Yeah.
did the math of how many people we were going to reach, and it's not enough. And
yeah,
we realized, like, look, we went vegan because we saw a random video on YouTube. We could do that to somebody else because it
Mm.
works for us.
Yeah.
So and I remember when we were saying, like, we could get a camera, let's reach more people. It's like, yes, like, we can do this. But I didn't ever feel comfortable on camera. I've never felt like, oh yeah, let's get a camera. It was like a let's get a camera, but oh my god, I've got to be on camera, like,
Yeah.
talking, like, this is my worst nightmare. But you got to do it anyway, because your worst nightmare is never as bad as what the animals go through. So yeah, I remember the first day we did outreach, I was like, I almost froze in front of the camera, and the moment I spoke my first word, I was like, yeah, I can do this. And the first person I spoke to went vegan.
Milo.
Milo.
Never forget his name.
Oh, wow.
I was so grateful for him because he immediately I grabbed him and I threw him in front of Mel. Mel was stood with the microphone. She's like, I can't do it, Steve. I can't do it. I can't do it.
I was like, I will do it. But
I was like,
just nervous,
I was like,
freaking out.
you can do this. And she was in a spiral of anxiety. And I just saw over her shoulder, this guy was kind of half looking. I said, can we interview you? Can we have a quick conversation? He's like, yeah, okay. And poor Mel was just like straight in the deep end. But this guy was like, yeah, I get it. He saw the screens. He got Mel's message. Mel had a great dialogue with him. And he was like, you know what? You're right. I'm going to go vegan. we went back about 4 months after.
Yeah, a few months later.
About a few months later, maybe 4 months later, he came running up to Mel on the street. He said, "I've been vegan for 4 months. It's the best thing I ever done. It was the best thing talking to you." And this guy was a real, like, you know, vegan for the animals, becoming an activist.
And I was
So
just like, I didn't think I could.
And now, and is he now an activist?
yeah, I believe so. He was saying, like, in Brighton when we saw him, he was like, "You've really inspired me. I'm vegan and I want to do more." I am right with that, aren't I? I do remember that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
possibly. I can't
Yeah,
remember.
I mean, we were by the upside down
we
house.
had the footage, but somebody didn't plug the microphone.
I think yeah, it's probably my fault. I'm not the best cameraman. I'm still terrible. I get so easily distracted and the camera's all over the place. It's really hard. People don't underestimate how good people are at this, you know, like.
But yeah, just the reach that you get on social media with the camera is amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's the perfect strategy. In fact, I say this to everyone. I hold some workshops here, and I tell this to everyone. In today's day and age, you just can't say that, hey, I do something which is offline and not online. Forget activism. It's applicable to everything in life. Whatever you are doing, if you are doing something offline, you need to have some online presence. And of course, when it comes to activism, it's all the more important, because, like you rightly said, you spend 6 hours, two people, 12 hours. That's so much of effort that you are putting in, and you're just talking to 10, 15, 20 people, and that's not much, right? 12 hours standing on street, it's not an easy task. It may appear easy, but people who have not done it, please try doing it. It's not that easy to do. Talking to people for so long, you realize for the first time in your life that, okay, there's a capacity to how much you can talk in a coherent manner. When you speak so much, you feel like you have to drink water every second, and standing for so long. So there's a lot of effort which goes into it, and hence, absolutely, it's very strategic and smart to amplify that, and social media is a great way to do that. And I think both of you are doing amazing work. You are saying that you're not a good camera person, but I've seen some of the recent videos, and some of them which we'll play in some time now. They looked pretty damn awesome.
Oh, that's very kind of you to say that. It was, to be fair, it's probably Mel filming at the time. Mel's much better than I.
It's probably when I edit it, I can stabilize it a bit.
But you're so, like, I've spoken about it before, with the amplification of activism, and it's because, like, we have this luxury of time, and the closer you get to seeing the injustice that animals face, you realize that time is such a luxury that we have. We have the option to go out today and do activism. We have the option to put it off and maybe put something in front of it. But the animals don't have this luxury of time, and their time, actually, their window of opportunity for us to make a change for them is very small. And we believe that we must fight this war for them in the time frame that they have, not the time frame that we will allow us to have. You know, I think that we have a moral obligation to fight as intensely as if it was us directly in that position, because they deserve it. You know, they're deserving of that intensity. So that's why anything you can do to amplify your activism, please do it for them, because they need it.
Like today, those animals going into slaughter today, we listened to their cries, we heard them begging for mercy. It's too late for them now. They're gone. And this is why, people feel nervous doing activism. You can feel anxious. You can feel all these feelings, and that's okay. That's normal. But we can't let those feelings beat us. We have to do it no matter what, because we're not the ones in that position. And there's a small amount of people on this earth who have seen the plight of the animals and who are acting. And if all of those people who saw what happens to animals made a stand and spoke up for them, animals would have liberation so much faster. So that's why I often talk about my nerves and anxiety over activism, because I think it's important for people to feel like that is a normal feeling to have. You may see videos of activists being confident in their videos, but they're just trying their best at the time. You don't know what they had to do to get there that day. And just don't let fear hold you back.
Exactly. And sometimes people say, hey, it's not my cup of tea, because I'm not cut out for this. And I tell them that, okay, find out what's your cup of tea. find out how you can contribute to the movement. Maybe you are not the person who is good with talking to people, but are you good with editing post? Are you good with writing? Are you good with music, poetry? Find out an avenue in which you can contribute to this movement. There's not a single way in which you can do so. That's the first thing. And secondly, of course it's going to get uncomfortable, because you are going, no matter what you do, you will receive criticism from the rest of the world, because you are directly attacking their comfort zone, their conditioning, their ideologies, their culture, their habit, so on and so forth. So of course it's going to get difficult, but we still need to advocate for animals, and we have to think about it in this way, that if we were in their position, then how we would want someone to advocate for us, if that is clear to us.
Yes.
Like, we tell this to non-vegans to think from the victim's perspective, but I think it is that much important for even vegans when it comes to advocacy, to think from the victim's perspective.
100%.
Like, put yourself in their shoes, and like you rightly said, the time frame that we operate our comforts, that's on a different horizon, that's on a different time zone, different universe. What
Yeah.
they are going through is an immediate problem of life and death.
Mhm.
Yes.
Definitely. And I think it's really important to use our freedom for their freedom.
Yeah.
I often say to people as well, like, if you
Yeah.
ever feel like, oh, I don't know about this, just imagine the animals behind you, and you're the barrier between them and the knife. By you standing in front of the animals, you're taking the criticism, you're taking the punches for the animals, and you're trying everything to protect the animals from the ones trying to oppress them. And everybody has the power to do that.
Yeah.
Whether you feel like you can or not, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now that you have been doing activism for 4 years, 2.5 years out of that you've started documenting as well, what are the 3 things about the whole vegan movement that you're optimistic about?
Do you want to do your start?
Yeah, I think when I have seen the movement work together, like you said, with skills, with kindness, with support, I think that really amplifies strength. I think from the outside, we we look very powerful, we look very strong, we look very united, and I think that's a really good thing. Like today, when we did our live stream for the animals, we have people who are constantly in the live stream supporting the animals, saying nice things to us, helping other people who are asking questions. We're so much stronger when we are united. So I would like to see more strength in that rather than criticism to others, because criticism will only hurt others who are just trying their absolute best for the animals. So yeah, I think united strength.
Yeah, it's a good one. One thing that I feel very optimistic about is the conversations we've been having recently with a lot of young activists who are really understanding this time frame issue, and who are really willing to put their liberty on the line, put their freedom on the line, put their bodies on the line. There seems to be more and more people now, over the last year perhaps, who are willing to step up and say, someone's got to do this. I'm going to do it. And I'm going to go in, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to try this, and I'm going to expose this. And we see this wave of, it's almost like a cork on a bottle. And I feel like the pressure is building up behind this cork. And we've got these activists now who are willing to go into the next level of discomfort, and understanding this time frame. And I feel like the next 12 months, there's a potential of even more happening and more being exposed, because we've got these people who are willing. So, like Mel said earlier, there's a small percentage of people that are willing to do this, but if we had more, it would be faster. But we've got to be optimistic. These people are brave, and they're doing some incredible things. So seeing this, like looking at what animal justice projects are doing, looking at what Animal Rising are doing, and we're seeing these huge impacts, like what happened on Cranswick with Cranswick. Sorry, all the exposes. I mean, like, to go back, Joey Carbstrong is putting out an expose video at the same rate most activists are putting out to the debate table. They're just absolutely going for it with exposing the industry so furiously. So I'm so optimistic because, like you said earlier, and rightfully so, the compassionate, empathetic person in the middle who's known nothing but indoctrination, cognitive dissonance, and conditionment. When they see this message, we're going to get change, and we're going to get a huge snowball effect of this change. So all these things make me feel optimistic, and I suppose the third thing for me, you may have another thing, is that all the industries that exploit animals run off of profits, and we can affect their profits by directly affecting the people. And us activists, we're running off of passion, and passion will always outdo profits, because when your money runs out, we're still going, we're still there, and we're still going to be fighting this fight with the intensity we are. So these are the things that make me feel optimistic. Have you got any other things that might make you feel
absolutely.
optimistic?
I just want to share one experience. But we ran a protest at the RSPCA.
Yeah.
It was our first protest that we had led, but we wanted to make it clear that yes, we put the post out about it and we bought banners and things, but this was a group protest. We are all here and we're all equal. It's not like, because we're on the megaphone, people were listening or something. So we wanted other people to feel empowered. So what we did, we gave everybody an opportunity to go on the megaphone themselves. And we said, look, you may be scared, you may be afraid to do this, but we want you to know that when you step out and you go on the megaphone, you can say, shame on the RSPCA, and everybody else behind you will have your back. They will support you in what you're saying. And we gave it to people, we went around all these people, filmed everybody as well to make sure I could send them all videos of themselves on a megaphone. And then when we went around the second time, there was a lot of people who were too nervous to do it the first time, who picked it up and was like, right, shame on the RSPCA. And you could see them really being empowered that they can also lead a protest too. They can do it as well. And we went afterwards, we had a debrief, and there were people, I remember there was this really sweet guy who on the phone to his mum going, Mum, I just led a protest, I feel so proud, I was on the megaphone, and he just was beaming with I can do it. And I think in the movement, if we shared that around people more, give people the opportunity, be like, you can do it as well, it's okay to feel this way, but go on, you can give it a try and we'll have your back. We're right behind you.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are really good points. So being united is one thing you talked about, empowering other activists, and also it's also inspiring to see activists who are breaking the ceiling and going beyond what we can think of. So yeah, those are really important points. And the first point that you mentioned about that, um, if there is criticism, then also that puts down a person emotionally, or probably cause uh, sets them back from a mental health perspective. But do you think there could be good criticism within the movement, and if so, how it should be done?
Yeah, I think if there's something that somebody has said that's really bothering you, you've really got to a point where you think they really don't understand, or it's a detrimental, I think there's a way of saying things. You should do it privately to start with, and should not be publicly posting anything anywhere to shame this person. Because firstly, as well, I just want to add, when we first started doing activism on camera, we were watching ourselves back, and we used to say things when we were referring to animals like it, and we were criticizing ourselves, going, why are we saying this? And we were reconditioning ourselves out of the conditioned state that we were in, but we were picking up on things that we didn't even realize we had done. So I definitely think you should go to someone and say, hey, great activism, maybe pick a point that they're doing really well on, build them up, and you can suggest something. Or in this point, I would maybe you could try doing it this way, but don't not to be that was terrible, that was awful, you're letting the animals down, how dare you, because that's not good for anyone. The reason they're doing activism is because they want animals to have rights. They want animal liberation. So you should never do it in a way that slams their activism. Should lift them up, but you can make suggestions. And never publicize it. Never spread hate and publicly shame somebody for something that you disagree with, because you might not be right as well. Like, we often take feedback on board, but we'll make our own decision of what we feel is most optimal for the animals. And you evolve as an activist over time. You're not the same activist you were when you first went vegan, because you're learning and you're changing your way constantly for the animals. We don't have the studies, we don't have the scientific backup to be like, this is the way it is and that's that. We're working it out and we're just doing the best we can.
So another good point actually as to why social media activism can really help, because like Mel said, people could even be watching themselves back going, oh, I could have tuned in a bit more here. I could have said this here. I could have done that there. And social media, filming our activism was one of the most optimizing tools for our outreach that we've done, because you watch yourself back and 6 months down the line, you see how you've evolved as an activist, and it's great to do that, because we're all seeking the same thing. We're all seeking to be as optimal as we can for the animals, and everyone's trying, and I'd like to think that everyone's coming from a place of innocence and love and just trying your best. So we need to harness the fact that this person is putting themselves there for the animals, and we need to build them, and we need to encourage them, and we need to strengthen them, and we need to unite. And actually, we don't need that. The animals need that. The animals need that. We don't need that, but the animals need that. And this is our common goal. And if everybody maintained focus on the animals, this would be a lot better as well. Sometimes focus can shift, and people can be, you've seen it in the movement. People are so busy arguing over here, they don't even see the animals being slaughtered over here. And by the time the dust has settled, they've gone, oh, another 2,000 animals went in the gates today, and we spent so much time arguing
over a word.
So I think let's unite. Let's build a bigger force. If everyone's pushing in the same direction at the same time, we're going to get bigger change.
Yeah, and I just want to add to that, like today, we faced people today who were laughing at the animals going in, who were mocking them, grown adults who were like this with cows' milk in front of their cows and stuff, and it's horrible. Like, it's the worst place, slaughterhouses, and if all we saw in the comments was other vegans slamming us for being there and trying our best, like, whether you realize it affects you or not, it can. Nothing would ever stop us. No, nothing. But what we did have was vegans supporting, being like, I hope you guys are okay. Thank you for being here for the animals. Thank you for exposing this. And like, without you realizing, that does give you that, like, thanks guys for being here with us. Like, we also understand it's a hard thing for a lot of people to even be on a live stream at a slaughterhouse. And some encouragement really goes a long way to activists.
Absolutely. And I guess the reason why I am asking this, because especially in the West, I've seen this a lot. Earlier I used to see individuals, and now in the recent past I've also seen organizations having different or opposing views on certain topics, and then there is so much of energy which is spent arguing between the two vegan groups or individuals. And like Steve, you rightly said, the focus needs to be the animals. We are just sidekicks, right? And even if we have our disagreements, we should still not lose sight of what we are doing here collectively, right?
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
You can stand next to the person that you most hate in the world, but stand next to them. Don't look at them. Look at the animals. You're going to war together, the animals.
There was Cliff Grant done a really good speech at NARD. I think it was last year. And a part of Cliff Grant's speech, he said, the animals in the trucks today who are going to a slaughterhouse today, they don't care what color your skin is. They don't care what religion you are. They don't care if you're arguing with each other. They don't care. They're on the way to a slaughterhouse, and all of these indifferences are stopping you from fighting for them. And it was a really powerful point because it brought it back to the individual who we should be united for fighting. And it was a really powerful speech. I'm sure he's good on his channel. Go to Cliff Grant's channel and check out his Nard speech. It was powerful, and it's just about this focus. And the animals, they're quick to get dropped in every scenario that I've experienced. If anyone starts talking about veganism and they say for the health, the environment, and the animals, even in that trifecta, they're always last. No one ever puts them first, even in here. And the first to get dropped to the bottom of the ladder again is the animals, and it just makes me feel so upset because we need to be focusing on them because they're the victims. Why are they getting dropped to the back? Why are they getting forgotten about while other things are being talked about? Let's refocus, let's realign, let's unite, let's push forward because they need it. They need us to do that. It's just this movement's not about us. It's not about us. It's not about what we're doing or what we're thinking. It's about the injustice that they face.
Absolutely. I think people need to remember that there is a justice movement, not for us, for the animals. And on that note, I will share my screen and one of your footages from, I guess this is a part of your live stream. So first I'll show that and then we'll have a discussion around it.
She's got a ring on her nose to stop them from digging and burrowing, because pigs really love to dig, but they put that on their nose to stop them from doing it. So they don't wreck the enclosures because it will cost the farmer more money, but that ring really hurts them when they try and dig. That's the purpose of why they put that on them. Just another torture device for the farmer so he doesn't lose money.
I believe this is from one of your visits to a pig farm, and I think there's an investigative work, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, yeah. That was a pig farm that we visited to go and have a look around, and it was like all pig farms, it was a really really sad place, and
we wanted to show people the realities, like when you see a pig farm like this, an outside pig farm, this is the propaganda and the brainwashing these industries put in front of you to match words such as free range, RSPCA. You naturally match those words with this vision. So we wanted to go in and show people that even though these pigs are outside right now, these mothers have got nose rings in their nose to stop them from burrowing and digging, which is something that pigs love to do. That's like their favorite thing to do. And the farmer does that to stop them from digging around the pen enclosure that they're in. Or the piglets there, their tails have been cut off. Many pigs are coughing. It's dirty, it's stinky, there's dead bins. There's more videos to come on that one. But we wanted to show people that to you, you think, oh, the pigs are outside, and this is just like the farm books I read when I was a child. And we want to capture those images and those videos of these individuals. You can look into their eyes yourself, and then this is the great thing with social media is that then you could put the gas chamber that these pigs will go to. Then you can show the farm where they take these piglets to a growing pen, and they'll be inside, being in these horrible places. They still end up in a gas chamber. This is where we want to stop people from this. How do I explain it? We want to show people it's not a welfare issue. This is an animal rights issue. Like you said, it's a justice movement for them. So regardless if they're inside, outside, wherever they are in a palace, they're going to go to slaughterhouses. They're going to be forced inside of a gas chamber. And we just want to show people the things that they have missed that happened to them along the way as well.
And while you were documenting all of this, I'm sure that it was a very difficult experience for you both to be there to see what's going on with these animals. So how did you feel? Like, of course, the two of you were in your activist role that time, but otherwise, like, what was the feeling going on inside?
So yeah, I mean, we're fairly new to investigating still, so you know we're still finding our feet with it, to be honest, and it's really difficult at the moment. And I'm sure that it will get better at it the more we do. But at the moment, it is kind of almost like you know, like the best way to explain it. Have you ever seen like a film and they get like flashbacks in the film? You have that. I mean, I don't speak for myself. Maybe you don't.
Yeah,
But when you're in there, you do. You go into activist mode. You're in like work mode. Like, what do the animals need me to do? You remove your fear. You remove all of your anxiety. You remove all that, and you just think, we have to complete this mission. I have to expose what's happening to them. So you get this activist mindset on. But when you're in there, you get these flashes of like you make a connection with an individual. You know, I don't know if you've seen the video where we took a non-vegan into a factory farm, and like I still have flashbacks from that factory farm in the pig farm, where a certain animal will look at you and they'll look into your eyes, and it feels like you have this connection, and you have this emotional wave hit you, but then you have to snap back into like, I have to put this emotion in a box because they need me to put it in a box, because they don't need me here crying right now. They need me here doing what I come to do, which is expose the plight that they face. So you have a cocktail of emotions. It's really, really difficult. I find it sort of like, you know, it's a 50-50, like emotional and work. And you deal with it a lot more afterwards. I feel like you come back, and once you come back and you look at the footage, and the footage is what you were trying to capture. You know, you got that shot of the farrowing crate, you got the shots of the piglets coming up, and you got the shots of the tails, and the cameras worked, and the memory cards are okay. You get back, you think, right, we got it. And then you sort of can hit that, like, relax for a minute, and then the emotions come, and then you feel really sad. And we've both broken at different parts. It's been okay because there's the two of us, and we're quite lucky in the fact that I will break and Mel will be able to hold me up, and then Mel will break and I'll be able to hold Mel up. And yeah, but you know, starting to go to these places is one of the next layers of intensification that we've found, where you have another realization of their time frame, and it's fueling the fire each time. But yeah, it's
one of the hardest things is coming home, knowing that they're still there now, wishing that you could save them, and people will comment on the videos like, why didn't you take them? Why didn't you take them? Why didn't you take them? And it's like, I want to save them all. I want to save all of them. But we save them by becoming activists and creating a vegan world, and protecting them with rights. Because we showed a video of a little chicken called Tiny, who we met in a farm, and we filmed her because I had an interaction with her. She was the tiniest chicken of them all, and she was limping. She couldn't reach the water, and we obviously filmed her because people connect with an individual. But what everyone didn't see is that there are thousands of chickens just like Tiny who also couldn't reach the water, who were dying on their face in the barns. But yeah, this is the power of exposing. You like take a camera and film what the animals are going through, expose on social media, and make change.
The camera is the weapon in this war. The camera is, you know, for years, social media has been able to hide these farms. These farms are in the middle of nowhere. They're tucked away. Even the farms you may see on the roadside, they look glossy and shiny on the outside. If you take 10 meters inside and it changes, you know, and mainstream media has controlled what the public has seen. They've controlled the information the public have fed, and they've controlled everything. But now brave activists and brave investigators who have done things far beyond what we're doing, you know, they've been able to capture this truthful snapshot and the real shots, and you know, and then we can show the truth to people. And mainstream media can't control that. This is why social media is a huge, powerful weapon. But yeah, I mean, going inside and seeing them animals, mix of emotions, difficult, but you have your activist mind on, and that happens with a lot of activism. you know, and a lot of people do it, and you could almost have this like alter ego if it helps you, you know, like you just think, okay, I'm in Steve activist mode, and Steve activist wouldn't be scared, and he wouldn't be nervous, and he would go in and he wouldn't connect with animals, and he would focus on this and he'd do this. And you can use all these kind of tools mentally to prepare yourself to do things.
Yeah.
And it may help others. But
Yeah.
I feel like we owe it to the animals to be brave and to go through these barriers that we may face.
I think it's good to have these feelings as well. I
Mm-hmm.
think it's good to face the truth,
Yeah.
feel the feelings. So I will never forget the individuals I've seen in these places.
Yeah.
I will never forget the feelings that you feel from these mothers and these babies. I'll never forget the sights. But what that does is it drives me to do more and more and more and more. Like every single day, my body vibrates with like, and it's like I live with this vibration now of, oh, we've got to do more. What else can we do? We've got to optimize. Like this isn't good enough. We've got to reach more and more and more and more people. So our brains are constantly spinning. Like I'll wake up in the night and I'll be like, oh, we should do this, and I'll make a note on my phone. And yeah, we're constantly trying to amplify the message as much as we possibly can. But those feelings are what gives you the fuel to do that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that's such a huge motivator for us, the animals, that no matter no matter what we do, no matter how much of discomfort we get into, it's not enough for them at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a great motivator. Like sometimes when you feel tired, can I do this further today? No, I have to do this. What other option do I have? What other
Exactly.
options do we have? So we have to push ourselves, and I can totally relate with that. And also on the investigation part, like you rightly said, at that moment we feel like, hey, can I save this individual? But even though that is something we would really want to do, but at that moment we realize that our main task is to document this and to show this to the rest of the world, to see the difference, to see the delta between what story they have been told about the animals versus what they really go through. And that is, in the grand scheme of things, is so much more powerful. It's
Yeah.
heartbreaking that we could not save the individual at the moment. We would want to, that's why we are doing all of this. But yeah, I mean, it is really difficult. Last month I was in a dairy farm here documenting something, and in front of me they were injecting oxytocin, and those folks, they were not even trained. Like the workers, they were just taking injections, and just before milking the cows or the buffaloes, they were putting in oxytocin. And later on, like I was having this conversation with one of my other activist friend, and they said like, hey, do you know that you could have also stopped them because it's illegal? But then I thought, yeah, of course, at that moment I wanted to stop them, but my role was very clear to document that, because when we talk to people in India, has the narrative that, hey, the cows and the buffaloes are well treated, unlike the West, because there is some religious value to it as well. But then this is the reality, and which people need to see, and I can so relate with that. And also, thank you so much for doing this. I know this is one of the toughest, I think everything is tough in that regard, but yeah, this is one of the toughest things which I personally find, to go to these places and document, because you have to be really mechanical in that regard, right? That you can't be emotional. You also have to be careful that you're not caught by the authorities and they don't question you and all of that. You're just there mechanically, like a robot, documenting stuff, and then the real work starts when you distribute that to everyone else.
Definitely, yeah. It's getting what happens on the inside in the darkness to the light for everybody to see. So yeah, it's once you've got that footage then will change so many people. Thank you as well for what you do, going in, and yeah, witnessing that, and also having, like, logically thinking, like, right, actually for the animals it would be better if I film this and expose this, because it can be hard, like you said, like, I want to take every single animal out, every single one. The complications of taking an animal out over here is potential jail time, and then what good are you to the animals? Because there's still billions of animals that need your help. So yeah, you got to think smart.
Yeah, we have to be smart about the resources that we have, and one of those resources is uh, our freedom to speak. And if, like you said, you are in a region where there are legal repercussions. Now, I'm not saying that uh, like if that we should not put ourselves in danger, but I think that should be calculated. That should be a calculated move, that we are doing it for a
Mhm.
specific purpose. Then it makes sense. But otherwise, yeah, we have to weigh in the resources that we put in: time, effort, energy, freedom, so on and so forth. So, and see
Mhm.
that, okay, if I'm preserving it here, what else can I do with it? So yeah, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah. And also, I just want to say, people who do go and do liberations and that's what they do. Amazing. That's amazing. Like, not knocking that whatsoever. This is just the way we're doing activism. It's all a big
Yeah.
team effort.
Mm.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. In fact, I'm myself so inspired by ALF. I'm sure you would have heard of them. I've read books about. I've read books on them, the amount of commitment that they have put in. But if you analyze their work, they also put in a lot of strategy into what they are doing. It's not
Mhm.
like randomly out of emotion they go into an institution and bring an animal out. It's very well thought, calculated. So I think that
Yeah,
is the key. So yeah,
Mhm.
and hats off to people who are doing it. No doubt about that.
Yeah.
And
'Cause these,
on the
the
effective,
sorry, I was just going to finish
yeah,
with
please carry
adding
on.
that
Yeah.
that the images and the videos are hugely powerful because, like, going back to our vegan change, we was listening to Joey saying,
Mm,
makes so much sense, makes so much sense. But the wave of emotion which turned the lights on was the visual of the dairy cow having her neck cut. Same as, when you show visually a farrowing
mm,
crate, when you visually show all these slaughterhouses and stuff. These are the things that create that mask off moment for people. So, yeah, the investigative stuff or like the expose stuff is just fundamental to the movement for the animals.
yeah, exactly. I mean, amount of people who have changed because of watching documentaries like Dominion
Mm-hmm.
is insane, right? Like, so many
Mm-hmm.
people have changed just by that one documentary, and
yeah,
so many others like that as well. So absolutely, the
Mm.
I think animals are the best advocate for themselves. It's our
mhm,
job probably to showcase their position, but if people could really see what they are responsible for, what
Yeah.
their money is funding, I think
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's huge, right? When
yeah,
Yeah.
we see that, okay, this is happening with the power of storytelling and a good narrative, that is something on us to present it in that way. So package
Yeah.
it well in a way where people can receive it, and then showcase their true position. I mean, I'm sure that a lot of people, like I said earlier, are just
mhm,
ignorant of their choices. And once they come to know what is the level of havoc that they are funding at an individual level, then
yeah.
I think a lot of people will change sooner than later.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely, and I think you're absolutely right with the visuals. I often think, like, before I saw what happened to animals, I didn't have the capacity to imagine
Mm,
what happens to animals, because my my mindset has just always been, you just be kind to everybody. Like, my natural instinct is to love animals, so I couldn't even comprehend that somebody would ever try and do this to animals. Um, so yeah, the visuals are so
mm,
important. Like you said, the animals advocate for themselves because what they're going through.
Mm.
You see yourself in them, and you can see their eyes, and their eyes just speak
mm,
so much. They say 1,000 words. Um, when you see animals in a sanctuary,
yeah.
you feel their happiness, you feel they're comfortable, you feel the love. Animals at a slaughterhouse or a farm, they're it's so
Mm,
different. You even feel how different they are. and they're all scared. They're all scared. At a
Yeah.
sanctuary, a lot of them will run over to you, whereas at farms, they're scared.
Yeah. They are scared. Like, it's almost unimaginable. Sometimes, like, things which I've witnessed so many times in the past, sometimes I see that again, and I still can't fathom what these animals go through. Like, I've
Hmm.
witnessed that so many times in the past, but I'll still go and try to document something or spend time with them. And you look at them as an individual being, and it's
Hmm.
it's unimaginable. Like,
Yeah.
we can only stretch our imagination to its extreme limit to
Hmm.
actually empathize with them. But I believe truly we can never uh, we can never truly empathize with them, what they are going through. We can only
Yeah,
imagine, and I think even that imagination will fall short of the reality of what they are going
yeah,
through.
Yeah, you said that really, really well. I 100% agree with everything you just said. And I even had an experience of it today. I stood outside of a slaughterhouse today, and a truck stopped for a little bit of extra time the other side of the gate. And this one
Mm,
particular dairy cow was looking back at me. I was looking at her in the eyes for probably a minute or two.
mm,
And in my brain, I was thinking, I cannot even begin to imagine how you must be feeling. I know what you're about to go through. You
mm,
don't know yet the process of what you're about to go through. I do,
mm,
and I'm stood here
mm,
20 meters away from you,
mm,
and I'm trying to imagine. And
mm,
your brain does exactly what you said. You hit a ceiling of, I can only empathize this far because I'm not going to go through it.
yeah,
She is, and
mm,
it's one of the hardest things standing there looking into the eyes of the most innocent, vulnerable, childlike being, and they're looking back at you, and all you can do is
mm,
point your camera, hit record, and to say, I hope that this reaches
mm,
someone with compassion and empathy in their heart. I hope that someone who has the ability to
mm,
critically think or challenge the status quo sees this. I hope that you're seen by the world, and we can get this systemic change.
mm.
And yeah, you said that really well. I think you perfectly put.
Yeah. And I wanted to discuss about your activism, and more so about effective activism. And there's this one video which I absolutely, it's my personal best video on your page. So first I want to share that, and then we'll discuss.
Are you okay? Yeah. Are you alright? I'll give you a hug. Well done for watching that.
It's terrible. We're just lied to so much, aren't we, about what's really going on.
You've absolutely got it.
I love animals. I just think we've got so many other ways of eating. We don't need to eat animals anymore.
Absolutely.
There's just so many alternatives. But
Yeah.
I never saw that.
After you have seen that today, what changes do you think you're going to make in the egg
Vegan is
industry?
the only way to go. Yeah.
Vegan is the only way to go.
Nice. So, of course, activism is such a powerful tool, and that's a living example. And I'm so glad that such a moment is documented. So, well done to both of you, and also probably one of your lucky days when you could document such a reaction. And I have a comment to make, but before that, what was your feeling at that time, Mel, when you had this conversation and you saw the person kind of broke, was in tears probably, and you hugged him? So what was your reaction?
So when I saw his reaction, this may sound weird, but I thought, yes, he's got it. I've been, and I was his reaction too. So I instantly was like, he knows here. He's a very compassionate person who has now seen the truth, who wanted to change instantly. And I remember the feeling of how I felt the moment I first saw that footage, and I just knew he just needed a hug. I didn't know this man; he's a random stranger, but I saw the connection he made to the animals, and I was like, I just want to hug you. And yeah, it's an amazing moment because for the animals, there's another warrior on their team. There's another person in the army for them now, who is no longer oppressing them as well. And I really felt that he will also speak up for them as well. And it makes me so happy for the animals that there's people out there like that. There's people out there who are like that, and there's many good people out there who just don't know yet. So it's a matter of putting the footage in front of them, getting them to see the truth, and then you get changes like that. And the fact we got that on camera, I wanted to share that post and to give other people hope that their activism is effective. Even if you don't see the effects of your activism, someone out there is listening. So you never know how powerful you are.
Yeah. And also, I want to mention this. I think something that you did there was beautiful, which I tell all the activists, budding activists, that if you have managed to have a good conversation, then don't stop at that moment. I think what you did there was very tactfully done, that you asked them about their next steps. So that, okay, it's not that one conversation and then things are over. You ask them about their next step. Okay, now what is it that you are going to do? So and then he said that, right, that vegan is the
Yeah,
way to go. And that
yeah,
was such a big thing.
yeah. I wanted to make
Yeah.
sure he understood the footage entirely. I wanted to make sure he didn't go away vegetarian thinking that's okay. So by saying what changes
Yeah.
are you going to make, he then can tell me what he's going to do. So then I can understand as the activist if he has fully understood what this is and what veganism means as well.
Yeah.
You're kind of like a support
Yeah.
for them to guide them on the right path to make sure that they fully
Yeah.
understand. Because I've had people before who have
Yeah.
seen footage, got emotional, but then said, "I'm vegetarian, that's it," and I've been like, "No, wait. So you just gotta sometimes guide people, but yeah, he completely got it.
Yeah. Do you also get them added to some ecosystem, like get them to follow pages on Instagram or give them some resource sheet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we always leave them with something.
We have like little cards that we take with us, so they take the card away and it has all
Yeah.
the links and various documentaries to follow up on, so
Yeah,
they can.
always support.
So that it's not like you say, it's not end of
Yeah.
conversation, and they just wander off into the high street or wherever they may be, and 100 yards down the line, it already starts to
Yeah.
diminish in their mind. You know, they're going away and they're thinking about it, and they're like,
Yes.
"I'm going to watch this. I'm going to." And you have their moments when you're doing outreach, particularly street outreach, where you have these like moments of gold, where you're like, this guy or this whoever they may be, they got it 100%. And I think it's incredibly brave for people in public to be completely exposed of their emotions. So I always like, I feel like really emotional for someone who is brave enough to be emotional in public. You know, this another element to why we feel social media is so powerful. We saw the videos in our home. So when we saw the dairy cow having her head cut, which was on that video, by the way, that bit of footage at the bottom, she was the dairy cow who we saw. We were at home, so putting my head in my hands and crying my heart out for 20 minutes was my reaction, because I'm in my safe space. And if you do social media activism, there's a high chance that you'll hit someone when their walls are down, when they can really let their true emotions out. They're not in a public setting. They're not, you know,
Yeah.
if I'd have seen that in a public setting, would I have had to have thought, I've got to hold myself together. I'm in public. I can't just collapse on the floor and start crying because all these emotions have hit me. So I think that this is a really powerful element, two sides, that social media activism can be hugely influential because people could be in a really good place to receive the message. And secondly, people who, even
Yeah.
though they're in public, are open and strong enough to let their emotions out. Then I commend them for that, because it's brave for someone to do that and to express that this has made me feel like I'm going to cry. This has made me feel like this is really bad, and I'm going to spend some time with you discussing on how I cannot be part of this anymore. I think it's commendable. It's great.
Yeah.
He was a perfect example of that.
Exactly. Like there are only so like limited number of times when we actually can appreciate a non-vegan, and someone like that who is almost a pre-vegan at this stage. I'm sure by now the chances are really high that he's a vegan now. So yeah. And like
Yeah.
you rightly said, like in public, sometimes it's difficult to it's difficult to showcase our true emotions, but I also feel that in public, people are more civilized in nature. When we look
Yeah,
at some of the comments that come on social media, I don't
Yeah.
think that people who
yeah,
write such nasty, illogical, senseless comments, they would do it in public, in face to
yeah,
face, especially when the camera is on. I think the
yeah,
chances of doing that is much low. But on social media, because people in their head are maybe in some mood and they'll type some nonsense because they feel that, okay, the repercussions of typing such illogical stuff is not that high.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. There's definitely that element to it too.
Yeah. But they
Yeah,
don't realise by typing in nonsense on vegan posts, it helps the algorithm push
yeah,
it even more. So
Yeah,
yeah, whenever we start getting trolly comments, we just think, great, it's going to push this now to people who need to see the message.
yeah,
yeah. I was going through a page and I was trying to get some interesting comments. So I got a screenshot which has two interesting comments. So I think now is the good time to discuss that. So I'll present that because the font size is too small. So I'll just read it out for you both and also
Yeah.
for the viewers.
cool.
Every single of these vegan videos pushes me further away from veganism. They make absolutely no points. Yeah,
Yeah. I think when you hold up a mirror to someone, and like you said earlier, you're challenging them, you're challenging the way they live their life. You're saying to them that your choices are unethical, you're immoral, and if you continue to do so, once I've given you this evidence, then you're admitting that you're living unethically and immorally. So people at that point have the two options, I suppose. You either absorb the information, you take personal accountability, and then you change,
yeah,
or you try and find a way of deflecting.
yeah,
And this is a good example of just someone just biting back with nonsense. You're pushing me further away with this. If you'd have replied to this person and said, okay, how could these vegan videos bring you closer towards being vegan? How could these videos be more effective for someone like you with your mindset? They wouldn't have a comeback for that either. It would be, oh, you can't because I just
another.
like me. They're one of these people, you know. It's just it's almost just like the chimp paradox. I don't know if you've ever heard about the chimp paradox, which is this like idea that there's a chimpanzee sitting at a desk at the front of your brain, and when the information gets fed straight into your brain, it goes to the chimp at the desk. And if the chimp at the desk isn't happy, he jumps up and down and slams the table and has this like this like refusal of the information that's hit the brain rather than turning around and putting it in the filing system and logically thinking about it. And this is a good example of the chimp paradox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're challenging my social norms, you're challenging my conditioning. So I'm just going to say it's your fault that you're pushing me further away.
Yeah, it's easier to point fingers than it is to hold yourself accountable.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And like you rightly said, if we ask them, okay, what can we do to pull you towards veganism, there's no valid answer to it. So instead of absorbing the message, let's not only attack the messenger, but also say that, hey, your method of delivering the message is wrong. Okay, then you tell
Yeah.
me the right message. I'll do that. You tell me what do I
Yeah.
need to do right now for you to go vegan. I'll do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
and
yeah,
you also
like
find.
something very so,
Carry on, sorry.
no, I was just saying on similar lines. There's this comment as well where people say that I'll double my meat intake so that your efforts are nullified or something of that sort.
Yeah.
So I mean,
Yeah,
these silly
Yeah.
comments keep coming up, and
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah,
So and someone commented this yeah, no, I was just saying that someone commented this on my page the other day. They said that I'll double my meat intake so that that is my impact is nullified. And I said, hey, while you do that, please ensure to have some fruits as well, because I don't want to be blamed for your clogged arteries.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
See,
This, sorry,
go
Karen.
on.
I was going to say this is the thing. A lot of these comments are verbal diarrhea coming out. They're like brain dead comments. And if they actually stopped for a moment to actually see what they were defending with these silly comments, I think they'll feel very ashamed. And this particular person who said, "You push me further away from being vegan," it's like, well, they know that that's something you don't want to hear. So they're trying to antagonize you. When we first started doing activism, I used to look at the profile of these people. Most of these people have a vested interest, whether it's hunting, farming, some sort of interest in exploiting animals. So they like to do this. And then you get other people on the same page saying, "Thank you so much. It's opened my eyes." The person in the video, this particular video, understood and was like, "Thank you so much. Yep, I understand what you're doing." So never take one comment and be like, "Oh, I'm not doing very well. Oh, I've got to change my ways because this one person's upset with me." Never do that. Comments used to really affect me. I know both of us at one stage, but I know that I'm doing my absolute best for the animals. I know I'm always going to do my best for the animals. I'm always going to push boundaries. We're always going to try to amplify and do everything we possibly can. That these comments no longer affect us as much as they did, because I don't need to prove to this individual that what I'm doing is like effective to them because they've said a throwaway comment. I know that I'm doing my absolute best. I know that we're our own biggest critique. We're always analysing what we're doing.
We should get T-shirts that say, "Your comment, what's the word? Effect. Your comment affects the algorithm more than my activism."
Yeah,
that's what we should do. Your comment affects the algorithm more than my activism. Like, see you later.
Yeah, nice phrase. Absolutely. Plus, personally, I feel good when we get such comments. One thing is that is the mark that our videos have broken out of the vegan echo chambers. Now they have
Yes.
they have been distributed to a large chunk of non-vegan group, and from there these comments are coming. So I think personally I see that as a success matrix, that okay, my personal Instagram account is at, let's say, X number of followers or subscribers, and then if your video views have gone like 1x or 2x of that, that means that it has broken out of the chamber, and that's when such comments come in. So so that's a good sign that these comments are coming in. I'll read out the second comment. So essentially this person is trolling you, and the comment that they have written is, "Chickens are the closest in DNA to dinosaurs. Prehistoric brain, just eat, sleep, and repeat. Eat them guilt free."
This is another example of reducing, for in this instance, a chicken down to something so insignificant that they feel okay with themselves for exploiting them. This has been done in history. If you look at injustices in history, people would reduce humans down to animals to continue to be exploitive or do what they want to do to them. It's just lowering the status of the chicken down to they're just some dumb animal that doesn't matter. So don't feel guilty about hurting the chicken. It's just words that are coming from their chimp paradox to make them feel like it's okay to do what they're doing to chickens. But these people, the minute you say, okay, let's put a human in the same mind, in the same prehistoric brain set as you're putting the chicken. So we have a human and a chicken, both with this prehistoric brain set. Is it okay for me to exploit the human? No. Why? And then they end up in this, these people are easy to tie in knots when they come up with such nonsense like this. These are just chimp paradox comments where people are.
The other thing it does as well, before I was vegan, I thought I was an animal lover, and if I saw a video and I thought, that makes sense, and then I saw the comment section, I would be like, that's embarrassing that this person's put this. Like, they're making themselves look silly. And a lot of people do this in debates. Even my sister, who isn't vegan, said the vegan always comes across logical and smart, and the non-vegan always comes across ridiculous, irrational. Yeah, when saying comments like this. And I thought that's a really funny thing that she's just said.
Yeah.
Thinking, like, take it in then.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I suppose there is also this element
Exactly.
of sadness. Sorry, I was just going to say that there's an element of sadness with this, that the animals are still going to the slaughterhouses for these people, and this mindset. Although we can look at it and we can laugh at that mindset, and we can say, like, how ridiculous are these non-vegan claims? These are absolutely stupid. Because a chicken's got the DNA of a dinosaur, we can put them into a gas chamber. But the reality is that animals are going into these places for these people, and it's so sad that these people are quick to put these throwaway comments on, like you said, rather than go, you know what, like, let me just do a little Google search on this. Like, do chickens get exploited for their eggs? Do whatever their comments may be, but just look into it, rather, because this is a matter of life and death for someone. It's a life and death for someone, and these comments, it's just a reminder of how far we have to go with some people.
Yeah, but to do that, one needs to give it some serious thought, right? And more often than not, these comments they don't mean anything. Like, the person in that frame of mind, they are just thinking that they are writing some smart ass comment, thinking that, okay, now I've destroyed the whole vegan world with this one comment. But they're not thinking much. Had they been thinking, it's highly unlikely that they would write such a comment, right? So that's one thing. And earlier, Mel, you said that you check the profiles of these folks and you found people with some sort of vested interest. Either they are from farming background or something of that sort, right? In my opinion, in my experience, when I check these profiles out, most of the time they are anonymous accounts, or sometimes young teenagers like 13, 14, 15, just out of, like, without thinking anything, and just writing a comment and thinking that, I've done something really smart today. I think it's that toxic side of social media which comes into life in the comment section.
Yeah, definitely, I agree with that. The anonymous, they don't even want to show their face with what they're writing on a post. So that says it all. But if they are writing emotional things or comments, they are being affected still. I sat next to somebody on the way to a slaughterhouse once, and he was like, "I used to be a troll," and I was like, "What?" He was like, "Yeah, I used to troll vegans." I was like, I just did that. I was like, "You? Like, no way." Like, I'm standing next to you on the way to the slaughterhouse to fight for animals. And he said, "The thing is, I would troll the vegans, but I didn't realise that the vegan message, the animal rights message, was going in." So eventually something clicked and he went vegan. And now he'll start slaughterhouses. He does all he can for the animals. And so I always think as well, never give up on these people writing comments, because they're writing comments because they're feeling something. The people,
triggered.
The people who got to be, that I find more scary, are the ones who can see what happens to animals and have no reaction. Something that broke my entire heart and body and soul, you have no reaction to, and I find that very scary. Whereas, like, I can handle trolls better because they are showing an emotion.
Yeah, that's a very interesting perspective. Like, now that you put it that way, I think about it. Yes, I think people who are not reacting to it and are indifferent to it, that is selective ignorance, right? Active ignorance, and that is probably more dangerous. Interesting take. So, Steve and Mel, I wanted to talk to you about your business as well. So I saw that you have an apparels business where you make t-shirts and other stuff with the vegan message. So can you talk a bit about this side of your life?
Yeah, so the whole idea, so we started, okay, in a nutshell, when you go vegan, you become an activist. We go back to time, and you have a house, you have a mortgage, you have insurance, you have car, whatever you have, and you have to earn money to live and to pay your way. So then you're met with this this issue, this problem of you have to work to earn money, but the plight of the animals is the most important thing to you. So you need to spend and optimize your time doing everything you can for the animals. But you can't just stop working, because if you stop working, you lose your house, and there's this
Hmm.
balance of having to make money and being as optimal and as effective as you can for the animals. So we came up with this idea of the vegan gym wear, because there wasn't any vegan gym brands around, and we wanted something that always
Hmm.
had vegan on us. Excuse me, until we got our tattoos with vegan on them. If I didn't have a t-shirt on that didn't say vegan or some vegan message, I felt like this was a missed opportunity. So we were like, great, let's start creating some apparel, because if that's selling well, then we can perhaps free more time up to be more active for the animals. And the idea is that the income from that business would mean that we wouldn't have to do our daytime jobs, and we could basically be full-time activists for the animals, with perhaps a little bit of work for
Hmm.
the apparel stuff. And we're in the middle of switching it currently at the moment from the gym wear to vegan vision eyewear. So we're going to be phasing out the gym wear, and we're going to be bringing in the sunglasses, because it's just logistically easier, a bigger amount of people who will be able to buy the products, because not everybody goes to the gym and
Hmm.
does that. So, but everyone can wear sunglasses with a vegan message on. And it's purely to try and
Hmm.
be full-time activists. You know, we want to spend 24 hours a
Hmm.
day, 7 days a week, optimizing for the animals. Any time spent away from that, it feels like you're swimming against the current, and you're just itching to get back to the next thing you can do for them. So yeah, the whole brand was just based around
Hmm.
becoming
Hmm.
full-time activists, really.
Yeah, and with the sunglasses, there's something
Yeah.
that I have a lazy eye, and that adds to my insecurity when I talk to people on the street. So I've always worn sunglasses. They're like my safety net. So when I do activism, a lot of the time you'll see I start with my sunglasses on as like my shield, and then I take them off once I'm in a conversation. And yeah, I was just like, I want animal
Okay.
rights sunglasses. I want messaging on sunglasses, vegan vision. I wear them all the time. I'm very passionate about them as well. And I think for people who don't know where to start, grab yourself a pair of sunglasses. Not only are you helping activists try and become full time, we also will donate to sanctuaries. And by wearing them, you've got a message on them, animal rights on them, vegan vision on the front. So
Hmm.
it's your start to something, and you never know where you can go once you just start with your activism. So it's like a nice subtle way to step in and then build up
Yeah.
from there.
Mm.
Nice. Nice. The sunglasses is something that you have started recently.
Yeah,
Yeah,
last few months.
yeah.
Yeah.
Last few months, yeah, they're
Okay.
sort of a new thing.
Yeah, I
And
didn't know if people would like them, so
and you started with gym wear, and I also see, Steve, that you are kind of jacked under that hoodie. So do you actively work out as well?
Yeah, yeah, we train probably 6 days a week. My history has always been gym and bodybuilding and training, and so yeah, I suppose that's
Yeah.
why we went with gym wear, because there was no gym stuff that had vegan written on it. So I was like, well, let's make some. Let's just
Yeah.
try it. No, we're kind of big on like, let's give it a go. Let's see what we can do. Let's if no one's doing it, let's try and do it. You know, and it's been fantastic.
Yeah.
And like, to walk in the gym with a top that says vegan on it, and go into the weight section and pick up the weights that we do and train the way we do, and have people like looking at the top that says vegan, and then the dumbbells that are next to the bench, and you see their brains like, how's a vegan bench pressing that? And like you see it, and so many people come over and they're like, are you actually
Yeah.
vegan? And we're like,
You go
yeah,
against the norm. You go against the norm.
yeah. So it's great. It's great advocacy. You know,
Yeah,
again, we're showing up for the animals wherever
yeah,
we can. In a gym, you know,
yeah.
there's so much bro science in the gym. There's so much you have to eat chicken, rice, and broccoli. You have to eat the eggs, and you have to eat this, and you know. So when you go in and you challenge the bro science, but again with something so visual,
Hmm.
when my dumbbells are three
Yeah,
times your dumbbells, and I'm twice your size, and you're telling me that you're exploiting animals for protein, and then I'm looking at you saying you don't need to, like if you are empathetic and compassionate towards animals, I can show you a way where you can align your action, align your morals, and still have your gains. People are kind of like, oh,
yeah.
and a lot of people don't know. You know, they're like, wow, I never knew that I could be a vegan bodybuilder. So
Yeah.
it's just a great way of
Hmm.
representing for the animals.
Just proving it in front of their face.
Yeah, because they can't debunk it. I'm stood there.
Yeah, 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 exactly. The only thing, the only thing is that the vegan has to be well built for that
Yeah,
message to be delivered in the gym. If it's a person who's not well built, then it can be the exact opposite of the message, saying, "Oh, I know you're a vegan. That's why. See, that's how you'll."
yeah,
Yeah. So yeah, good
yeah,
thing it was.
yeah,
Yeah, good thing that
yeah.
it was you who was doing it. So I've been working out for quite some time now. I've been putting up decent muscle, but I still do not have the full confidence to wear a message which is dedicated to animals. But yeah, I'm in the process. I've decided that in next couple of months, once I start gaining some more, I will definitely put on a message which has animal rights message on it, and put on a t-shirt which has an animal rights message on it, so that people can read it. But otherwise, outside of gym in general, when I go out, even right now, the t-shirt that I'm wearing, it says milk is murder, and then underneath, which I guess you can't see now, it reads ask me why. So I
Yeah.
always wear t-shirts like this when I go out, so that there's this opportunity for people to look at it and then think about it. And sometimes people do, like, watching this t-shirt, I'm so many times people have walked up to me and asked, hey, why, like, why are you saying that milk is murder? Then I just tell them a bit about it, and then refer them to some documentaries. So that's like a very
Yeah.
small thing, but I can totally relate with the fact, even with the gym wear, with the eyewear, that wearing apparels and clothes with animal rights message on it is can be so impactful.
Hmm.
Yeah, our body is a walking billboard, and it's free.
Yeah.
Like, just chuck something on and go out.
And
Show the world.
Yeah,
on the note with the gym wear, this is why we were very selective with like the taglines that we use. So we've got like on the women's sports bra, compassion is strength, and on the men's t-shirt and on the men's
yeah,
shorts, it says the strong protect the weak. So it's not even so much about physically having 100 kilos of muscle. You know, it's being a strong enough person that no matter what challenge is put in front of you, I'm gonna be strong in my message, and I'm gonna represent the animals, even if I'm feeling hugely intimidated. Because strength, you know, the strong do protect the weak, and strength isn't always physical. Strength is resilience. Strength is being
yeah,
brave. Strength can be saying the most uncomfortable
yeah,
thing in the most uncomfortable situation. That takes a whole different dynamic of strength. So yeah, anyone who's representing for the animals in them
absolutely.
circumstances, you know, like it's brave, and we should do it. We're obligated to do it for them. But yeah, the messaging on t that's why we got the
Absolutely.
tattoos, you know. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely. One doesn't need to be physically jacked, shredded, strong to be a good activist and be certified as strong. But
Mm.
yeah, in this world of in this shallow world that we live in, unfortunately, a lot of times people buy what they see, right? The
Hmm.
marketing and the branding side of things, and
Yeah.
I have seen this personally as I've gained muscles over the past couple of years, that when you talk to people, and because more often than not this discussion comes, right, okay, as a vegan, how do I get my nutrients from, even though people have no idea how they are getting their nutrients right now. But if someone is well built, then they actually like check you out. Okay, is this
Hmm.
does this person know what they are talking about? So and
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
something that we discuss amongst activists as well. So of course, in general, I personally want all vegans to be strong and healthy physically, so that we have more energy, we live longer to fight for animals. So I always tell vegans to please go to the gym, work out. So
Yeah.
it's very important.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
need you on this planet for as
Yeah.
long as possible.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Exactly. And s- now you're doing this business, and this is essentially, like you said, to help you out to be a full-time activist. And you're also putting out content actively on social media. And what we are going to do is, on screen we will give out your Patreon information. I guess you have a Patreon page as well, right?
Yes, yeah, that's very kind. Thank you. Yeah, Patreon, and we have some really, really
Yeah.
kind support there. And you know, just want to take an opportunity to thank everybody, every Patreon, every person who does super chat, super thanks, everyone who likes, comments, and shares, because like without the Patreon, without that, we genuinely would struggle to be able to do the most we can for the animals. You know, going to these places, having the equipment to go in and do what we're trying to do. All of this stuff has only been made possible by
Yeah.
really, really, really kind people who are aligned with our vision of fighting for animals and who help to enable us to be
Mhm.
free enough to be in them positions to do so. So we don't take it lightly,
No,
and it's not something that you
Yeah.
know we appreciate it so much.
massively. Even today, for instance, like the round trip today,
Yeah.
5 hours in the car, and then it's like we're on the laptop
Yeah.
and the cameras and everything. We wouldn't have been able to do
Yeah.
No,
that.
we've been
But,
so great. We've been
yeah.
so looked after, and we really appreciate it so much.
Yeah, I think it's a very important facet of activists' life, right? Because this is not something. There's not a business model which is sustainable or profitable that helps the activist, right? So it happens because of the kind donations of others. So people who are
Hmm.
watching this, please support Mel and Steve. So we'll give out their Patreon details. Please support them.
Oh.
And talking about, so one thing I wanted to ask you this, because I've seen the quality of the videos that you put out. uh, would you be comfortable sharing the breakup of all the equipments that you use, different equipment, which camera, which mic do you use? I think it will be
Yeah.
very valuable for our viewers who are thinking about starting up or thinking about upgrading their gears.
So I'll talk about what we started with, and then Steve can tell you what we have now because he remembers all the names and things. So you can start
Yeah.
today with what you have. So you can go out and you can pass your phone to somebody and be like, "Can you just film me chat to this person?" And you can just use your iPhone or whatever phone you have, because on whatever content thing you use, whatever video you record, if you go on to an editing suite like CapCut, for instance, which is free to use, you can then get footage and put it on your video, regardless if they can hear you or not. You can add subtitles on there. YouTube tutorials are a really great place to start to learn. And then you can get a microphone. You can either use like your phone microphone, or you can upgrade to A. You can tell them about the other things.
So yeah, the history of our upgrades. We went from the phone, and we, like I said earlier on, we took our credit card and we went to our local camera shop, and we said, look, we need to do this. This is like, but I think we had like £1,000 limit on the credit card. We're like, is this enough? Like, what can we do? So we started with a Sony ZV-E10, which was about £600,
Mm.
£700, something like that, and then the batteries and the memory cards that came, you know, with it. It's probably about £1,000 in general. and it was absolutely fine. It was it's very small. It's a vlogging camera to begin with, so nothing special, nothing amazing, but it will be a bit of an upgrade. It was an upgrade for us, and we put it on our credit card, and we used that for maybe like a year, I think it was, something like that.
Over a year
and then we started to have problems with it. So we were still paying the credit card off, and we would go out and we'd get everything set up. We'd get TVs in place, camera would start rolling, and it would just keep it coming up with this big triangle, like overheating. And it didn't, we couldn't use it. We put out a post on a Wednesday saying, we're in trouble, like our equipment's ruined, we can't keep doing this. Can anyone help? By Friday, so within 48 hours, we had to do a post saying, please stop the donations. We have reached the target that we were trying to achieve. So with the kind help of everyone, we was able to upgrade the Sony to the Sony A7S III. So that camera is kind of, we were advised this camera from other activists who we know who do good for certain lighting, good for street outreach. The battery life is good. The lenses, you can get whatever lenses you like on there, but the actual camera body, there's the Sony A7S III, and that's what we use now for our street activism and majority of everything really that we do. And then we also, for when we go into places, we use what are they called? Osmo Action 4s, which are like the action cameras, and we have them just here on a rucksack. Yeah, nice and small. You can put them in like a black ops mode, so there's no lights. They're recording for a long time, 150-degree angle, so they're really good and convenient, small, just to take in, especially if you wherever you're going, you got to get into places. They're great. And the other one that we'd recommend that has been a really big help, especially for when we were going into places, was the X4, the Insta360 X4. Reason being is you don't miss anything with a 360 camera. Yeah. So for example, the pig farm we walked in and we both were like, what? Like we couldn't believe what we had seen. But we were able to capture our emotion, and we were able to capture all the rats running away and running out of the food all at the same time. If we'd have only had the Osmos at that point, we'd have only got that one shot. So the X4 is fantastic for just not missing anything. So that's what we use. X4, the Osmo, and the Sony.
And for the microphones, we use the Rode
Wireless Pro.
Yeah,
the Rode Wireless, because the Rode Wireless can go onto your phone. It can go into your camera. You can use you can use anything. In fact, maybe I'd say the Rode microphones. DJI also do a version of this as well. Like people's preference, DJI or Rode, they're very similar.
This is the one.
You got the Rode as well there.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
This is DJI.
That's the DJI.
Oh.
Yeah. They're excellent. Same as the Rodes,
DJI.
and they can.
I'm using the DJI mic, but I'm using the holder is that of Rode, but this is the DJI mic, and this is also very good.
DJI and the Rode, really good. And if most cameras these days, most mobile phone cameras aren't too bad, and from our experience, people will be a lot more sympathetic towards a bad visual than they would a bad audio. So if you've got a limited budget, I would recommend upgrading your audio first, because if the visual's not all that, at least people can hear your message, and then you can work up from upgrading from there. But the DJI or the Rode Wireless Pros, either will be fantastic. And they both just have an attachment to go into a phone. And they're great. That's our equipment that we're using, and it's fantastic.
And like I said, for editing, you can use CapCut. There's a free version on CapCut. I think there's InShot. There's other platforms like Final Cut Pro, which is a paid platform, and other things. But CapCut is a very user-friendly place to start, or you can also pay for the paid version on there as well if you want to upgrade. Somewhere we can get music if you want to use music, Epidemic Sound or Artlist. They're paid platforms too, but if you upload something, say to YouTube, you can get a copyright strike or something for using an uncopyrighted music. Is that the right word?
Yeah.
Yeah. So just watch out for it. There is free version. There is some free versions on YouTube, but you never know.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else. And yeah, if you're ever stuck with editing, just type in what you're having issues with, and there's a tutorial on YouTube for everything. Trust me, I have never done editing in my life before we started doing activism.
Yeah.
I had to learn literally how to cut something, everything from scratch. So if I can do it, anyone can, because I have no strengths whatsoever.
Yeah. Yeah, and just for our viewers in India, CapCut is banned in India. So everything that is from ByteDance, TikTok and CapCut, everything is banned. But yeah, InShot is the variant that is being used here, and there are so many options nowadays. I think editing, and like you rightly said, any problem in life, YouTube will have a solution, and you just type in the specific keywords.
Yeah.
So yeah. But I'll just summarize this for our viewers. I think the main thing that you said is, first and foremost, to start things off, whatever you have right now, the phone, whichever phone you are using, it has the potential to get you started. That's the first thing. Second thing, if you have the budget for it, then first invest in a microphone than in a camera. So that's the second thing. And then of course, camera, you can start with an entry level camera like the Sony ZV-E10 Mark II, which is the latest version right now. And then of course, there is no limit to camera. I think the one that you talked about, that is a very good camera, but like then there's no end to how good a camera can be, right? But yeah, I think visual part, it is mostly sorted. Even if someone has an iPhone or a Samsung Galaxy, I think that also offers such a good video, right? The only thing is the audio, because some more often than not, even though these phones have great audio as well, but only thing is, like, if someone is filming you, the mic is at a, like, the person, the interviewer and the interview, they are at a distance, so from the microphone, so you need a microphone. And over there again, Rode and DJI, they are like the industry standard, but then there are cheaper variants of that available as well. So like Hollyland Lark is one of them. So yeah, get started. I think that's a great advice, and I genuinely hope people start. And also, you mentioned about the small cameras. One is the action camera, again very cheap, durable, great vlogging camera as well. Like you said, the wide angle, it can, like, you do this, and if you are trying to show something behind you, like if you are at a factory farm, you stand like this, it will capture you and everything in the background. And then of course there's the Insta 360, which is like the 360 thing, captures everything. Yeah, so those are like good to have as well.
The another good thing that you could do
Nice. But
is if you went with the DJI mics first, and then if you haven't got the budget to go for like a £800 camera, the DJI Osmo Action 3 or 4 actually Bluetooth link the mics as well, so you could get away with street activism and going in places all with the Osmo Action 4.
Yeah, I was going to add to that as well. Cliff Grant
yes,
uses like a Osmo type camera. I'm not sure which one specifically, but he will pop it against the tree, so he doesn't even need someone to video him. He'll
It's small enough to just
tie it to the tree, put it to the tree, so people don't really see it, and he can go out and do activism by himself, so he doesn't even need a camera person. So check out Cliff Grant, because he does awesome activism. He's out there all the time and on his own.
Yeah, I think those are durable. Even you can hold them like a selfie camera. It's so wide that it will still capture you and the other person as well. The only limitation with those cameras is the light situation. You have to be in a good lit environment, otherwise it's you'll get a lot of course, I mean, it's a cheaper camera, so you can't expect that much from it, but a really good option. But mic is the priority. I think that's the key here. right?
Yeah.
But that's really a good setup that you folks are using, and it's clearly evident in the quality of the videos as well. And now that you mentioned that you're using Sony this A7S III, so it's pretty evident in that. And just out of curiosity, like trying to geek out here, probably I will edit this out. Just out of curiosity, which lens do you use, and how far you how far do you stand from the like how far is the videographer from the interviewer?
So we got the Tamron lens, and I think it's 35 to 150. So it can zoom in quite a way. We put a variable ND filter
Mm,
on the end, so we can
mm,
crank up the ND filter, which drops the aperture. So you can zoom in from quite some
mm,
distance, drop the ND, drop the aperture, and get a really
mm,
nice focus shot. And also, you find that, or we found that
mm,
the conversations flow better with the person who you're talking to, because someone's not 2 meters away with the camera, like they don't feel like they're like
mm.
being closed in. The camera person could be, well across the
Yeah,
street, zoomed in,
Like
and
sniper like.
yeah, but
yeah.
and pulled all the way back, it's still a 35 mm lens, so it's pretty versatile. It's a really good lens, that the Tamron. Yeah.
Mm, yeah. Yeah, but that's like a privilege also. You need to be in a place where person can be at such a distance. In India, it's like you'll find so many people moving in between the photographer and the person. So the person has to be in that 35 to 50 range. So
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it can be a nightmare. People walking in front of the camera. I'm always
We
like,
um we've just been given a really good tip. I didn't know you could do it, but on the Sonys you can turn down the sensitivity of the autofocus, so that you turn the sensitivity of the autofocus down
oh,
and the timing
focus.
of it down. Yeah, so you
Yeah,
just get motion blur with the people
yeah,
who aren't focused in. So we've just been given that advice. So the next
yeah.
time the videos from in maybe a couple of weeks' time, they're going to be even better.
yeah, yeah. So we're learning all the time.
Yeah, you're learning all the time.
Nice, nice, great. This was a really great conversation for me. I had a great time, and
Same.
generally towards the end, I ask the guest to thank you. I ask the guest to give a message for vegans and non-vegans, but I think you have already done that, so I'll not ask that. But I have a like some I have a last question, and just take your time to reflect on it, and you can then answer. So imagine if all the animals suffering in cages and factory farms today could hear you, understand and comprehend you, then what would you say to them?
Oh,
Yeah, that's it's funny because I actually asked a similar question to these two children, these two vegan children. And
do you want me to answer what
yeah,
you
yeah,
think?
you can start first.
Okay, the first thing I would say is I'm sorry. I'm sorry for everything that my species has done, that they do, and that I have been part of up until the point when I knew the truth. And the second thing that I would say is that I will spend every minute of my freedom and my life
Hmm,
fighting for yours. And I promise you that I will never stop, and I
hmm,
will never give up, and I will never give in. And I see you. So please know that I'm coming, and there's a lot more people behind me coming too. And yeah, I would just try and tell them that, don't give up, don't give up hope, because people are changing, people will change, and we're never going to stop. That would be my
hmm,
message to them.
Yeah, I find this really hard because I I I don't know if there's any words that I don't know if my vocabulary is big enough to express how utterly heartbroken and sorry I am for what our species has done to them. And it's tricky because I want to tell them that I've always loved you. I've always loved you. I just did not know what was happening to you, and that's not an excuse. And I'm forever sorry for what I have done to you because of the species I am part of and the indoctrination happening amongst my species, that you are the victim because of that horrible circle in our species. And I'd also say to them, like, no matter how I feel, no matter how nervous I feel, no matter how tired I am, I'm always going to stand in front of you. I'm always going to defend you with every ounce in my body. We will find a way to become full-time activists, to fight every single second I have on this earth for you. And yeah, I'm so sorry. And we're going to change this. We're going to change it.
Yeah.
It's emotional, isn't it? Because you picture them like today, like
I think
yeah, I was just gonna say, like, today when
no, I was
the
just
animals
saying that
going in, you just I'm sorry, I keep cutting you off.
no, please continue. Please
I was
continue.
just
Please
saying,
continue.
yeah, when you see them going in today, sorry doesn't feel good enough. But it's the only words that we have to say. I'm sorry, I love you, I'm never gonna stop. And it's hard when you see them go past, knowing that those words didn't help you. But my actions will.
Yeah. I think as activists, we can all relate with that. And like what you said, we can promise to work harder, but like you rightly said, um, there's no way in our vocabulary in which we can truly express what what they go through, and even to express like what we want to do for them. So totally understandable. Yeah. Thank you so much, Steve and Mel, for the session today. And I genuinely had a great time conversing with you, and I look forward to more such conversations in future. Hopefully, in offline mode, face to face someday. And thank you so much for what you do for the animals.
Oh,
Likewise.
likewise.
Thank you for your lovely comments, and it's been really nice talking to you as well, and giving us an opportunity to chat about this as well.
Yeah, thank you for having us today. We've really
Thank-
enjoyed the conversation too. And thank you for all you do for the animals.
Yeah. And thank you to all our viewers. And until we meet again, this is Mel, Steve, and Shivam signing out. Namaste.